So you guys have seen videos in the past of a Beetle I had named Squirtle. Then the second one in the iteration of Pokemon was Wartortle. And now there's Blastoise. Let me go get Blastoise. I'll be right back. I got another car, Mrs. Wizard.
Shocking.
I have a thing for Beetles. I absolutely love Beetles, whether the old air-cooled ones from the 50s and 60s, and yes, they go all the way back to the 30s, guys, or these new generation. This is the newest iteration of the Beetle. And yes, Davy Jones, my Charger, is gone. I got it back on the road. It was abandoned at a Jiffy Lube or some kind of a Jiffy type of a business in Oklahoma City. Its future was very dim, but I brought it back to life. It's happy again, and I traded it to Euro-Asian Bob for this really sweet Beetle. This is a 2012 Beetle Turbo.
What? It's not a Porsche?
No, it kind of looks like one. It has the font on the side. It looks like Apollo 911, actually. That is Hoovy's 911 that's been swapped with an LS2. This one does not have an LS2, so don't get all excited about that. I've been wanting one of these for a while, and I've been scanning around, and I actually was very disheartened by the prices. You can get a 2016, 2015 Toyota Corolla, or something along the lines of this size of a car right now, 14 grand, 15 grand. But these Beetles, for some reason, are so high. Let me show you. A 2016 Beetle with 18,000 miles for almost 24 grand. There were different years and lower mile examples of these I found that were clear above that, 25 and 30 grand. But this one came to Euro-Asian Bob. He actually had it for sale, and he made a deal with me. He said, bring me your Charger, and 7 grand, it's yours. So I traded it in. He's already sold it to auction. It's gone. It's somewhere in Wichita. Somebody bought it. I hope they enjoy Davy Jones. It was a really sweet car. Now I have this really sweet 2012 Beetle. I love it. It's actually very fast. It's only 200 horsepower and about 210 pound-feet of torque. That's the stock 2-liter TSI turbo. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. But really, there's very few cosmetic issues with it. That's why I got a good deal. It is not museum quality. It is not brand new quality, and that's exactly what I wanted. He found the deal that I wanted. But even with its small little things, it drives like a brand new car. So let's go ahead and take a look around Blastoise. So we're using a new camera today. It's a DJI, and it is a lot smaller than the setup we had. We had a GoPro 7, and it kept failing and causing us a lot of trouble, and actually almost got thrown across the shop by Mrs. Wizard. It was very much pissing her off, but this is our new little camera. So on the car, you can see the front bumper, not so much the hood or anything else, but just the bumper is speckled heavily with like sand or debris, road, whatever you call that. Rock chips, I guess you call it. I may get the bumper pulled off, have Junior Mint pull it off and get it resprayed, just the bumper only. The rest is in very good shape. So that is one downfall of this Beetle. The second one, as you can see on the wheels, there's a little bit of road rash, or curb rash, I should say, on the wheels. But otherwise, they look fine. And on this side, you can see there is the turbo font. It looks like the Porsche 911. I don't think that came from the factory that way, but I like it. I'm going to be keeping it. It looks really nice. There's no serious dents or anything going on this side. This wheel actually looks fairly decent. It has some small amount of rash on the very, very edge, but nothing very serious. As we go around to the back, you can see I already have a Blastoise sticker on it to carry on with the lineage that I have started with Squirtle. I had a Turbo S. It was Wartortle. You guys remember that it was also silver like this. I don't know in these years that you can buy a Turbo S. They just have the turbo model. Maybe they kind of simplified it. It's very similar to a Turbo S. It has a 6-speed and everything. As we get to this side over here, you will see a dent, or kind of almost like a little gouge on the fender here. Like someone took the end of a claw hammer and hit it or something. But it's very small.
But maybe that was the GoPro I finally ended up throwing.
Maybe it was the GoPro you threw, yes.
Yeah. That might have been it, yeah.
This wheel is pretty nice, very, very minor rash. But one thing I noticed from being a mechanic, as you can see on the rocker down there, someone in the past, who knows how long ago, actually tried to lift it with the rockers and they bent the metal there. And it's not that big of a deal. I think I'll have our body shop here in town see if they can lightly hit that back and make it back into shape again. I think that they can. Maybe it was that guy my mentor talked about that just kicked the arms under the car and started lifting. This wheel has got a little bit of rash as well. It's not super bad. The worst one is the driver's front. But all in all, it's pretty nice. Let's take a look under the hood. Here is the little 2.0 turbo. Thinking of engines, when I first started my lineage with Squirtle, it had a 1.9 TDI diesel. When I moved up to the Turbo S, which is a 2004, it had a 1.8 turbo. And now we're at the 2012 turbo. This is a 2.0 turbo. I'll go ahead and take this little cover off for you guys. I just did spark plugs and coils myself with OEM Denso. Also some iridium plugs. By the way, guys, this has 122,000 miles on it, which is actually fairly low. It's not too bad at all. It was right at the time for plugs and coils. It was starting to have a very slight misfire under a load, and I knew right away it's time for plugs. That's all it was. And I did replace them, and it fixed it, so it's happy again. Here is a real nice thing. The oil filter is right there, easy to get to. Being this is direct injection, here's our high pressure fuel pump set up over here. There's also a vacuum pump. All that business is over there. Here's our air filter. This does have an intercooler. It is an intercooled turbo. And it's fairly quick. I really enjoy driving it. Alright, I'll have Mrs. Wizard hop into the interior and give you guys a tour. It's really sweet in there too.
Well, 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 ladies and gents, here we are in another of the Wizard's cars. And he was correct. It does have 122,000 miles on it. Very simple gauge cluster up there. We can see that we've got a nice simple tachometer, and we can see our fuel gauge. There's missing a few. Well, let's move up here to the dash up here, and there we go. Let's move his clip-on glasses out of the way. You'll see that we have an oil temperature gauge up here. We also have a calculator that lets you time your 0 to 60, and then we also have a gauge for our turbo. Pretty nice. It's easy to read right up there in front. Dash is looking really good. No cracks, no marks, no Grand Canyon cave-ins, nothing up there as well. As we move down, we have lovely faux fiber made from our greatest plastic trees on the planet. Yeah, looks good though. I mean, there's a little bit of a mark there that he's got to work on. We're not sure what happened there. It's definitely something real sticky or something. Mark, I'm not exactly sure. It's not sticky fingers from a lollipop. It's something beyond that. Have a very small infotainment system here, and there's nothing more than just the music options in there. But one nice thing is, let's go back over here. Below the ever so tiny, holding napkins, glove box is another one. And in here, it actually came with a very archaic adapter for an iPhone. But up in there, see if the camera will get up there and pan up there, the Wizard has attached a Bluetooth connection in there that used this adapter where it originally plugged in. He removed this and was able to find this exact plug with a Bluetooth dongle. It's a nice place to hide the Bluetooth connection. There is an aux port in the car, but it's kind of in the way, all buried in there, and who knows what could get stuffed down there, so, you know, he found that to be a little bit easier. You do see that it is a 6-speed manual. Yes, I said manual, ladies and gents. He bought a stick shift. He claims to hate stick shifts. We'll let him explain his rationale for that in a moment. So on our door card there, you'll see that we have a couple of different tones of real dark gray and lighter gray, and a little bit of cloth on that armrest as well, and an elastic strap to, well, I don't know how many maps you're going to be putting in there, but that's what they were originally used for. The ring around that speaker actually can change color. That is a control that the car has. So that's kind of a fun addition, some interesting accent lighting when it is dark. Our seats are cloth, and they have an interesting pattern to them. They have a kind of a ribbing on them. They do have some nice bolster on the sides, but they also have this runway strip down the center. Not so sure what that runway strip does, other than add a little bit of aesthetic to it, but it would make it hard to hide some of those Taco Tuesday moments. In our back seat, again, we have two little bucket seats. This is a 4-seater, not a 5-seater, and again, it does have that striping as well down the center of those seats also. As we go back to our sideways steering wheel, like we always do, it does have the flat bottom steering wheel, which is rotated because when he pulled in, he had the wheels turned, and we've got to turn a little bit and a little bit to get over to that lift. But we do have the flat bottom, which makes it a little bit easier when you're driving. You don't have that encroaching in on your lap. And again, just our simple VW symbol hidden in front of our airbag. So I think I'm going to hop out of this really large door that this car comes with and let the wizard get this up on the lift.
So you guys are with me on this, the first to look underneath. I haven't looked underneath since I bought it, so we'll see what kind of surprises. Hopefully there are none. Right now I'm seeing it's nice and dry right here under the radiator core support. Very minor scrapage here, but nothing too bad. It's normal for the age of the car. We'll move here to, looks like a drain plug is seeping right here for the transmission, but nothing serious. I'll probably be servicing it. Looks like there's a little bit of an oil leak coming from somewhere up there. There's the turbo. Might be a valve cover gasket. It's probably what it is. And it's really not that bad. Check out these brakes. They're about halfway gone, but they're still good. Nothing loose. There shouldn't be, because I know it drives very, very well. CV boots are good, the strut is good, sway bar link is good. Move over to this side. Brakes are half gone, CV boots are good. Sway bar link is good, strut is dry. Nothing loose there either. And these tires are all brand new. They're made by this company called Saloon or Salem. I don't know how you say that, but they're good enough tires. I think they're very quiet and they work very well. Move back to the exhaust here. We can see a catalytic converter is still intact, which is good. There's our two O2 sensors. There's also a cat on the back of the turbo you can see right there. So it's got a primary cat and a secondary cat. There's an O2 sensor also right there on the turbo. Wow. Interesting. Not much going on here, just a pipe. Here's our fuel tank. There's a muffler. Everything looks pretty clean under here. It's very nice. It doesn't have a solid axle in the back. It actually has independent rear suspension, which is really nice. We'll check the brakes. They're half gone, maybe a quarter to half gone. Still good. Sway bar link is good. Nothing loose there. The shock is dry. Everything's good there. Brakes are a quarter gone, maybe a third gone. Sway bar link is good. Nothing's loose there. The shock is good. And here's a second muffler. This is a big rectangle here. I definitely don't fit in with the no muffler Newton crowd. I have tons of mufflers on this thing. That may be changing. It comes to dual exhaust tips, which looks very nice. I like that. It's pretty cool. And here again, brand new tires, so I don't have to worry about the tires. Nothing serious going on underneath. He does inform me that the clutch has been replaced since it's been in his care, so I don't have to do a clutch. Tires are good, brakes are still good for a while, and there's very minor leak. I can't complain at all. It's really, really nice. Let's get this thing on the ground. So we're back to our regular camera, not our little handheld camera. Hopefully you guys like the small handheld camera. It does pretty good for you guys. Let us know in the comments what you think. But as Mrs. Wizard was looking in the interior, she mentioned that I had added a Bluetooth adapter to the MDI interface, and I did because the factory Bluetooth module, which is underneath the passenger seat, is dead. I started looking at prices of used ones, and they're 100, 150 bucks. And I got that little Bluetooth adapter for 25 bucks. That's a no-brainer, and it works perfect. It syncs with my phone, pairs with it just fine, plays music through the radio. It works and even puts the title of the song on the radio. It works perfectly, so.
Okay, Wizard. You swore off manual transmissions.
I did, but Eurasian Bob thought that I should try this one because he thought it was very, very light on the clutch pedal. So when I tried it out, I went and looked at it, and it's almost like something's wrong with the clutch, but it's not. It just the weight of my foot almost, and it goes to the floor. It's so easy. I've been driving this thing around for a few days now, and my left knee is the one that gives me trouble now and then, and it's had no complaints out of my knee. It's happy. Some of the other cars I've had was double, triple, quadruple the clutch pressure of this car, and I started to have trouble when in town with that. But this one's doing really well, so we're going to see how long I last. I think I'll last quite a while with this one. It's so easy to do.
What, 2, 3, 4 months?
Or weeks. We'll have to see.
Okay.
We'll have to see how long it goes. I'm really happy with the deal I got from Eurasian Bob. Make sure you check out his website if you're curious what kind of cars he has for sale. $7 grand and a Charger that I got abandoned in a Jiffy Lube parking lot in Oklahoma. For this, it's really, to me, is a really good deal. It's way better than over 20 grand on Facebook Marketplace. One thing I was getting tired of with the Charger, I put a Predator tune on it, which turned off MDS, and it's 91 octane tune. It had a lot of power. It was fun. But just tootling around town, I was getting 9 or 10 miles per gallon. On the highway, 15, 16 if I'm lucky. And the highway mileage is not terrible, but around town it's like every third day or fourth day it's like I just put $60 or $70 in gas in this thing, and now I'm back to E again. And it's like, I understand, I get it, it's a Charger, it's not meant for fuel economy, but this is getting pretty old. I'm getting really tired of this. When this came along, I was like, it's like all the stars aligned. I was like, yes, it's got the good fuel economy, it's still fast, it's fun, it looks cute, and it's a third iteration of my Pokemon lineage that I started. So, it all lined up perfectly. And the nice thing about this car is that it needs nothing. I could have driven it without the tune-up for quite a while. It would have been fine. But it doesn't need anything. I can just enjoy it. I really, really enjoy that part as well. So whoever has Davy Jones in Wichita, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you know that I brought it back to life for you. If you're curious what kind of tools we're really not going to use on this car, but we will use on the other cars in the shop, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's many more cars coming in and out of the shop. Thanks for watching.